What is up, YouTube? Cryptic TCG here, coming at you today with another deck profile. I just got back from locals where I got first place playing K9 Crystron. This is the deck I've been testing for this format while I've been waiting for the Orcus cards to come to EU. The deck's super fun. I played a bit of Crystron last format as more of a pure deck and splashed it with the horror stuff. I enjoy the Crystron cards. I think they're fun. I think they allow you to do a unique form of gameplay. They allow you to play through things a lot. Some of the Crystron cards also give you lines under Four Loss, which I'm always a big fan of in any kind of deck. Also, the deck is really awkward to interact with outside of like Four Loss, which in general just like is a blank hit from most decks. You can do a lot of like cool and unique stuff to let you play through the lines, and the synergy with K9 stuff is just crazy. So the deck is, I think, one of the best decks of the format. Especially after the YCS Vancouver, where it had such a great showing in Top Cut. But yeah, so this is the list I'm playing. There's not much I would change about it. There are a few things I would tweak. I'll talk about those more when I get to them. But without further ado, let's get into the profile. Start off with the Crystron cards. 3 Sulfador. This is the best Crystron in the deck by far, and probably the best level 5. Yes, the K9s are broken, but this card allows you to do so much in the grind game. Double Foolish, summons itself from hand or grave, just a crazy extender, crazy follow-up. Pair that with 2 Sulfurfnir. I did test this at 3. It's a bit too cloggy at 3. I think 2 is the correct number. Especially since we're playing a smaller main deck Crystron lineup, which does suck. I would like to play more Crystrons, except they're just not needed right now, and unfortunately they're not up to the power level of some of the K9 cards, so you just have to make sacrifices. This card, though, in general is crazy. This allows you to get into the K9 engine without locking yourself into machines, because this doesn't. Also, I've used this a lot to stall for surviving battle phases, because if you have the Escalia Synchro on the field and it gets destroyed, you can float into this, and then when this is destroyed, it can float into something, which is crazy. It can also summon itself, which you wouldn't think, because normally cards like that don't summon themselves, but it can come up. Summons itself from graveyard as well, so it's just cool follow-up. One of the better cards under Lancia, because you can still use the effect to summon it, and then summon like a Tristeros from the deck or something like that, so it's just one of the better ones. One of Cristrons, the one Smyga, the one Fistthorn, and the one Tristeros. It does make me sad that I'm not playing 3 Smyga anymore, but it's just not needed. It's still full card combo for the Crystrons on its own. It's just that is not really that powerful in the current metagame. It's still decent, especially if it's backed up with hand traps. It's a very strong half board. But yeah, overall, it's fine. Fistthorn, this card was glued to my hand. I've seen it like 600 times. I wish this had 1,000 attacks so I could just link it off, but it's been stuck there. The majority of the time, Fistthorn has just been discarded for Sulfurfnir to combo. One Tristeros, this also makes me sad. I wish you could play multiples, but we're just not even playing that many synchros, so it's just not relevant. But this is just one of the better things. The deck doesn't use its normal summon most of the time, so if you hard open this, it's fine. This can just be your first action. You just summon this, and then you just play around it. So even if they Four Loss you, you can still get a value out of it. You still get a synchro, which is just good in general. K9 cards, the 3 Azuna, 3 Jokul, and 1 Lupus, and 1 Lantern. We are playing the bigger K9 engine. It synergizes really well with the deck. K9 cards are crazy. Against Yummy, just what I typically side out is just side out these 2 and just keep 1 in. Sometimes if I need to side in a bit more cards, I will just take out these entirely. But my go-to siding pattern has just been siding out 2 of these and just keeping the rest in, because the rest is still good. Because you can still normal summon them when your opponent has multiple cards in hand, which does come up. And the K9 cards that you bridge into the Crystrons. Speaking of the bridge, and here's the thing you use to get to it. You search this, and then Foolish a Machine, and then you can play. I have been testing this in some Orcus lists with the K9s, so be on the lookout for that deck profile soon. But yeah, Scrap Recycler, just crazy card. Not once per turn, you use it twice per turn, which is nice. Hand Traps, 3 Ash, Charmy Cert. Also, Ash is just really good right now in general for like Vanquish Soul and stuff like that. 3 Fua. Crazy card. 3 Perulia. I did think about cutting this for a time, but I thought it was just too good not to, because if I'm going against any Ryzeal variants, this is just one of the stronger things I have. And if Yummy doesn't open Obedient School, this can be really detrimental for them. if they want to play into it, and if not, it just weakens their board a bit. 2 Nib. This is something that I'm currently ongoing testing. I wasn't totally sold on it. I think I'm going to try Bell in this slot next. Nib just, it was fine, but it didn't wow me. But I wasn't expecting any card in this slot to like blow me away, but I think Bell might be better because this deck has a really, at least in my opinion, has a really tough matchup against Draco Tail. And I think having Bell to like hit the Urgula to add back the 5 mana for their turn or your turn is, I think, more relevant. Also, if they can't chain block the Arthelion, so you can just stop them from getting back their resources. So I think you get more mileage out of it. But Nib is what I was playing today, and it was fine if you still want to play Nib. Spells, 3 inclusion. This card's crazy, searches any Crystron card, and it's a monster reborn for a Crystron, and you can use both effects in the same turn for some reason. The battle protection effect never came up, because this never stayed on the board that long, but theoretically it could come up if you wanted to like summon a Crystron, hit into like an Xyz and then make your own Xyz and make a Zeus. You can do that. Droplet, this card was phenomenal. I think it was the MVP of the deck. This card is super well positioned right now in this format. It put in so much work. Even against Yummy, if they're on Arclight, you have so many spells that you can send for it. It just does so much. Yeah, this card is just crazy in general. I'm playing this in a lot of decks now. Other spells, 2 Chaotic Elements. Crazy, follow up, Search a Jokel. Never use the graveyard effect, but theoretically, if they end on a detonator, you can do something with this. One case, I did want to play multiple cases, I just couldn't find the room for it, because I wanted to keep the 40 cards, but I wouldn't mind playing multiple of this in future. 1 Force Release, just for the alternate search target, and because it's a really good card. 1 Foolish Burial, this is still full combo. A lot of the times, if you have combo, I've used this to send a Lupus to extend if my opponent's activated a monster effect. It's just another way to like bridge into another rank 5. And then Cluster. I've seen some lists either cut this entirely or side it. I don't think that's correct in my opinion. I like having this as a go-to for if I get forward, just to have the interruption. Because against Yummy, this is a really relevant interruption, because you put them on have to have the extender, which sometimes they do, and that sucks, but sometimes they don't, and then you get to play through it. So, and I've had times where I've just sat on a cluster for 3 turns and just played cluster control, and it's been enough. So yeah, the card's really, really strong. Onto the extra deck. For the K9s, 2 Ripper and the Werewolf. I think 2 is mandatory. The amount of times where you can cycle back the quick play spell either by Bal or the effect of Case, because you can go Solfefnir to summon itself back and you can destroy the Case and then just set this, which I did a few times. So it's just these niche interactions that just get you more bodies, and I think the second Ripper just comes up more in the grind game. Rank 5s, the 1 River Stormer. Just to bridge the engines. The 1 Paradise Smasher. Didn't make this once, but if you get like Fura Lost and you don't have like a better line into it and you can make a rank 5, then this is your best option. Honestly, I can't wait for this to be banned just so I can have another slot in the extra deck. Probably play maybe Nash Knight or some combination of like that, but for now this was fine. It has its purpose. 1 Vimana. You get machine locked sometimes. You can make this. Sucks that it's a light, so you can't make it all the time, especially with like K9 stuff, except for the Azuna and the Lupus on your opponent's turn. But it's just something that you could make when you're machine locked with the Crystrons. Also, the attack effect is really relevant to buff. A lot of people, when they read this card, just gloss over that fact and just read negate. So they always go battle phase attack, and then you just go effect target. I use this in main 2 to stop a Typhon, because I Vemana targeted the Typhon, so it put it above the threshold, so it can activate its own effect, which is just a fun interaction you can do. 1 Valon, just something to interrupt the opponent on their turn. 1 Zenmayo. I wanted something for Draco Tail, because a lot of the times they'll play on your turn and they'll just set the back row because there's not really anything that can pop it, especially if you're playing Crystron and you get machine locked, so they don't think there's anything that you can do. So just making this to pop both the spells just to remove all the value. or just when you're just picking apart their board and just popping back row. It just comes up in niche circumstances, and it's a machine, so if you get machine locked, you can play it, and worst comes to worst, you can just slap a Zeus on top of it. The Cyber Dragons, Nova and Infinity, crazy cards. And then the one Zeus for the last XZs. I love playing Zeus in the deck. It's such a fun card, especially with River Stormer's secret effect, where if it runs over a monster, it can attach his material. So if you've already got combo, you can River Stormer, run over something, attach, slap a Zeus on top, so you get a format Zeus out of it, which is just a fun interaction. Synchros, it pains me to say this, but we're only playing two, one Askelios, one Dragster. The synchros aren't the strongest part. I would love to play like Gandrax and like Citri and stuff, but Citri is a really big brick, realistically, and there's just the extra deck's too tight. Maybe once we lose the Paradise Smasher, we can do more stuff for the synchro line, but for now, I think these two are just fine. Lynx, the one Clockwork Knight, it's a crazy card. You use the effect to summon back in this deck after you've already foolished with the Scrap Recycler. You just link it to this. You tribute the River Stormer to bring back the Scrap Recycler in defense, and then just use the effect again, which is nice. And then the one SP. A lot of people don't expect me to be on this for some reason, so they put in Contact C for this deck, and I just link into this. Most of the time this is in here just for space reasons, because if you're like comboing, your board gets filled way too quickly, so you have to just link stuff off, especially if you need a bridge, because most of the time you'll convert the Clockwork Knight and the Scrap Recycler into this just to free up the two zones. But yeah, so that's the extra deck. Onto the side, Lancia, I can't wait for a ban list so I can remove this when they address Malice. Maybe in a world where like Crystron gets really popular or Orcus gets really popular in the EU, maybe you continue to play this, but for the time being I just want the space in my side deck, so hopefully this just rotates out. Same with Droll. So many times I just wanted to cut this for something else, but Ryzeal variants do exist, Mitsurugi variants do exist, they are scary. I just wanted something to put in for them. Also this like catches like random rogue decks that you might play against. 3 Judgment. I was on Warning for a time being, but I know some people are playing Dark Rule no more for like Pearly, and I didn't want to lose to that. My end board is a Law of Negates. I wanted to protect them, so I think Judgment was the better choice. Also, it can hit like niche stuff. It can hit the Draco Tail spells and traps, which can be relevant. Hits the yummies of summons, so yeah, I think it's just standard. The 3 Dark Ruler. I did put this in for Yummy. I did put this in for like other Crystron mirrors. So I think this was a good catch-all. Originally I was on like evenly matched for like to cover like Vanquish Soul, but evenly matched into the Yummy board doesn't do anything because of the Arclight, especially if they end on 2 Arclights, which sometimes they do if they like want to invest that much, or if they open Obedient School. So I think this was the better like catch-all. One call by. I'm gonna try and put this in the main for Draco Tail to have just something else that I can do to hit the 5 mana to turn it off on both players' turns. But I need to find the space for it, but I would like this in the main. The one Clockwork Knight for like Yummy and stuff, and the one Rivalry. These 2 cards I put in a bunch of times, didn't see them once, but theoretically if you see them they're broken, especially when you go against like VS, because they put in like Tikaboo, so you put in Rivalry. You know, everyone flipped their floodgates and just creating weird board states. But yeah, I didn't see it, but in theory it's good. But yeah, that's the profile. Like I said, the deck is super fun. I definitely encourage people to pick this up. I think a lot of people would definitely enjoy this kind of play style, especially with how much you can play through boards and how like competitive the deck is. The only like downsides to the deck in the current format is Lancia does hurt a lot. Especially if you only open a hand of only Crystrons, it definitely limits your ceiling, so the K9 cards have to carry. But other than that, I think the deck is just really, really strong and really fun, so I hope a lot of you go out and pick this up. Hope you all enjoyed the profile, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.